I really wanted to make this film, and I did fight to get this film. Yeah, I never, normally do that. I knew when I heard about the project, I did everything to get it, really. I love, of course, Van Gogh, but I love also Julian's work as a painter and as a director. And I knew Willem Dafoe already, and I thought, okay, this is something for me. I didn't try the film to look like a Van Gogh, but of course, you get inspired when when you kind of have to see the world a bit with Van Gogh's eyes in a way. And I didn't try to make a painting; it's a film, but I tried to show, what with my images, I tried to show what Van Gogh had in his mind, in his brain, and we tried to show how he was seeing the world.
In my mind, he was hugely successful because he painted what he wanted to paint and he expressed the inexpressible. I don't think that all that idea that he was all worried because he wasn't selling paintings, that is a subtext. If he was so interested in selling paintings, he would have made the paintings differently to try to sell them. But obviously he didn't care. And he was lucky that he had a brother that gave him some money and took care of him. And being an Arles is something that I think the landscape there is a protagonist of the movie, not just Arles. And it wasn't a cozy, warm place. He said go south, but he did not find warm and cozy people and invitation. It was brutal and lonely. But when he was painting, he was a success. You can't tell his whole life. I wouldn't try. And he made my favorite paintings that he painted in that period. Or I think some of his most, that was his mature work.
It was incredible because we were shooting in Arles. We were shooting in these amazing landscapes where the Van Gogh and Gauguin had actually sat and painted those incredible paintings that they made at that time when they were in the Yellow House. And I loved it. I took my lead from Willem and from Julian, who had been shooting for a while, and their mode of filming, which was really loose and exciting and allowed for a lot of inventive things to happen in the moment. Well, I think the mystery of someone that is not understood in their time, that just a little bit after is suddenly considered a genius, that I think that collectively we can all miss it as it just doesn't match up with what's fashionable at the time. Also, the link between creativity and madness, and I think that's such a mysterious thing for us, and authenticity. Someone who is truly authentic to their own vision, to what they wanted, apart from how other people viewed it.
It's interesting to see each person's perspective on it, on this character, this human being that we all know so well, or we think we know so well. And there's so much information of somebody who was, at the time, so unappreciated. So there's a lot left for the imagination. And who better to make a film about a painter than a painter? I always have a great experience working with my dad, and I love the inventiveness and all of the ways that we work together. It seems very organic and playful. He kind of, lets you do what you want to do, and somehow it culminates together in a really good way.
He behaves on set as he behaves in his studio, and it's something very rare to see that, because movies are so constructed, so rigid, and he breaks that rigidity and he behaves and uses the set as he uses his brush. Well, for me it was very impressive to meet him and to work with him. But he's so careful, so helping. So he was always there trying to help me if something wasn't working. And I don't know, he's someone I respect a lot, and you can tell when he's working that he's been on stage for a very long time, and it's very, for me, for being a young actor, looking at him, it's something very nice.
The way we made the film made me feel very free, and of course I wasn't so concerned about interpreting Van Gogh as I was just being there and making myself available to the landscape, learning to paint, learning to see in a different way. It was a wonderful adventure that can't help but affect you personally. We were shooting in all the places that he was. Some of those landscapes are recognizable with the paintings he painted. So it was a beautiful experience and a wonderful opportunity. This isn't a biopic. It doesn't explain his life. It's really about painting and about actor's process. So it makes sense to deal with him at his most prolific. It was actually Julian's choice to frame it that way, but clearly those were his most prolific years, and of course that was where his thoughts and his vision was most deeply developed. I have a good association with the film festival. I've been here a lot with films, and then when I haven't been in films here, but I was in New York, I've always come. The selection's good. It's my hometown. Happy to be here. Yeah.